Mickey, the Mongoose Malone, was known for two things: his lightning-fast knife hand and his impenetrable silence. He was a ghost in the organization, appearing only when trouble needed to be handled, leaving nothing but a cleaned-up mess and a fresh stain on the pavement. Tonight, his target was Frankie the Fink Vitale, small-time numbers runner who'd started talking to the wrong people. The alley was a narrow, garbage-strewn canyon between two brick buildings. The only light came from a flickering neon sign, advertising a dive bar down the street. Mickey stood in the shadows, his presence as still and cold as the night air. Frankie stumbled into the alley, humming to himself, oblivious. He'd just finished a shift, his pockets lighter after paying off his superiors, his mind on the cheap whiskey waiting for him at home. Mickey stepped out. Frankie froze, his eyes widening in the dim light. He recognized the silhouette, the way the man held himself. Fear, cold and immediate, gripped him. "Mickey," Frankie croaked, his voice barely a whisper. What's going on?" Mickey said nothing. He simply raised his hand, the moonlight glinting off the steel blade he held. Frankie's breath hitched. He knew what was coming. "Please, Mickey," Frankie begged, his knees threatening to buckle. "I didn't mean anything. Just a few words, that's all. I swear I didn't tell him anything important." Mickey tilted his head slightly, a gesture that, in its silence, was more terrifying than any threat. He stepped closer, the soft scrape of his shoes on the asphalt the only sound. "My wife," Frankie gasped, tears starting to stream down his face. "My kids, they don't know. They need me." Mickey was close now, close enough to see the desperation in Frankie's eyes, the sweat beading on his forehead. He saw the genuine terror, the raw animal fear of a man facing his end. And then, Mickey lowered his knife. Frankie stared, bewildered. Mickey reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. He pressed it into Frankie's trembling hand. "Go," he rasped, his voice a dry, unused sound. "And don't look back." Frankie stared at the paper, then at Mickey, utterly confused. He glanced down. It was a train ticket one way, to a city 1,000 miles away, and a small wad of cash. But why? Frankie's Tamer. Mickey looked at him, his expression unreadable in the gloom. "Because," he said, his voice a low whisper, "sometimes the silence isn't just about what you don't say. It's about what you hear." He paused, his eyes narrowing slightly. "I heard your fear, Frankie. And I heard your regret. Now run." Frankie didn't need to be told twice. He turned and stumbled out of the alley, the train ticket clutched in his hand. A new kind of fear and a sliver of hope propelling him forward. Mickey watched him go, then turned, melting back into the shadows. The alley was empty once more. The only sound the distant wail of a siren, a stark reminder of the world he inhabited. He had spared a life, a rare and dangerous act in his line of work. But he knew with a certainty that chilled him that some debts could never truly be paid. And sometimes the most profound silence wasn't in the absence of sound, but in the echoes of a choice.